Let me ask you this. If Agile is dead, how can you revive it? That's this week on the Badass Agile podcast. Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams. My friend, good to see you. I'm so glad you tuned in. You know, everyone's talking about is Agile dead or is it not? People are starting to thumb their noses at the entire discussion, but it's a discussion worth having. Before we get into it, let's take a moment to remember why we do this show. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There's so many resources out there about what you need to do to be agile, but we focus on who you need to become in order to lead teams. So let's hammer down those fundamentals to create a truly unique and powerful force in this industry. If you love this episode, do us a favor and share it with your friends. I talk about this in different forums, but the question is, are things bad? Well, it's obvious things are bad. Spending on Agile is down. People have lost their jobs. Some of them are starting to doubt their careers. Some of them are in jeopardy of losing their homes or having to make serious lifestyle adjustments. And to be honest with you, they're down and out. Well, how did this happen? Isn't the thing that we do valuable? It is. It's very valuable. But don't forget, the way that we approached it, the way that we did it, has created a couple of problems. One, the blown trust. If we promise some kind of value and we didn't deliver it, sooner or later, people are going to stop asking you to work for them. That's natural. But also, forces like oversaturation in the market, and I think too much religious dogmatism around Agile has dented our reputation and created a challenge in our ability to sustain a career around this wonderful thing that I call Agile. But the good news is I think we can rise from this 20-year beta. We can transcend the current challenges and move on to the next phase. And what is that next phase? I don't believe it's a redesign or an Agile X.0. Here's the truth. There's actually never been more demand for Agile, but it's going to require some changes. This is the truth. I've never had more people tell me that we know we need to be more Agile. That comes from the executive layer and gets pushed down to the management and leadership layer, and they're really struggling to figure out how to do that. How do we become more Agile? We know it's important. Obviously, we know it's important because the market is constantly changing. Technology is changing. User demand is changing. So it's a no-brainer that we have to get better at responsiveness and adaptability. The problem is this. Nobody's talking about purely technical or software Agile. Let me correct that. Simply getting better at popping out software features is not enough to add value to the organization. Technical agility could also mean helping companies transform to an AI-based model of operation. It could mean helping them leverage new technology solutions like a cloud service or an existing off-the-shelf piece of software. But most importantly, there is a giant blue ocean outside of tech altogether. And that's where we should be focusing our efforts. My friend, it isn't going to look the way it used to. We have to learn how to apply Agile where it has the best chance of success. That means our energies aren't best spent on how to scale it in a software development room. It means that our best efforts shouldn't be spent trying to make Agile look more like traditional project management. If we could only stop thinking of it as a software delivery methodology, but instead a brilliant set of principles and concepts that can help the business where they're experiencing the most pain, then you'll see that opportunity abounds. Here's the trick. It's up to you. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to move. You're going to have to do differently. And you're going to let go of everything you think you know about Agile, all of the conversations, all of the rules. You're going to realize they're not helping you right now. Remember this, agility is first and foremost a way of doing. It belongs everywhere, in my opinion, but only those who accept the pivot will be the ones who survive this transition. Stop waiting for someone to come and save you. Stop waiting for the industry to correct. If you lead now, you own your future opportunities, you own your prosperity, And most importantly, you're going to get to do the thing that I truly believe all Agilists were born to do, to help, to make impact. Your best days are the ones where your clients are like, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Why? Because you help detangle the mystery. I used to think that in order to do better, I had to push harder to create more output. But you've taught me that I just have to prioritize better. I have to understand the real need and the real value better. And once I do that, shipping the right solution is not only easier, but it's much, much less work because you're no longer focusing on the things you think you're supposed to do or the things that you did 10 years ago or even 2 years ago. You're delivering things with real agility. Look, clients are dying for better processes, non-technical process. They're dying to understand how to have first mover advantage with something like artificial intelligence. They're looking for help trying to make sense of all of their data, especially their customer data. They're looking for ways to upskill their staff in all of these new skills, technologies, and the emerging global landscape of business. There are a million opportunities out there, but they all sit outside of pure software. The future belongs to those who adapt. And this is the funny thing about Agile, is I think sometimes Agile people are the least Agile people I know. It means we finally have to drop the conversations about Jira. It means that we have to roll hand in hand with the business. We have to get better at building those relationships. We have to get better at talking about value that has nothing to do with software features. And yes, my friends, we have to get better at selling and marketing what we do. Still to this day, when I have conversations with customers or prospects, I'll mention Agile, and they'll often turn to me and say, isn't that software thing? Part of our job right now is to re-educate the entire landscape, our entire audience on what agility should mean for them. It means competitive advantage. It means surviving economic tightening. It means surviving massive changes in the economy and the technology landscape. Customers don't want great software features at the moment. They want to survive and thrive. They want their businesses to be there tomorrow. They want to not have to take their sign down. They want to not file Chapter 11. They don't want their customers to leave in waves towards the latest and greatest or competitive products. They want true, authentic partnerships with their customer base. And technology may be a means to that end, but it's not the end itself. So you are going to have to embrace new skills, new conversations, and new ideas. And you're going to have to get good at having value conversations anywhere they exist in the business. I mean, here's the key. Agile works at its best when it's solving complex problems. If the problem's already been solved before, you don't really need agility. You need automation. You need education. You need to spread the process around the org so that everyone gets it and everyone does it. But agility is about reaching into the void where no solution exists. It's about the freedom to experiment and fail. And part of what we should be doing now is holding our customers' hands to help them do that better. And I don't think we're living up to the promise, but I can tell you this. If you get this concept and you start applying it today, and you have the courage to take on difficult conversations, rejection, not knowing what to do and how to do it. See, that's the problem. We look at these problems that customers are having, and unless we know the solution, unless we're certain about how to do it, we're not comfortable. How do I know that? When I coast around LinkedIn or TikTok or Instagram and listen to existing Agile conversations, people are always asking, what do I do? How do I? What's the script? What do I say? How am I supposed to think? What's the mindset I'm supposed to take on? And the truth is, there is no answer because reaching into the void to solve a problem that's never been solved before requires what? It requires courage. It requires certainty in the face of the unknowable. If you do these things, if you embrace what I'm talking about, not only is Agile not dead, you'll see that the demand has never been higher if you'll just make this small change. Do that. You have no competition. Instead of you looking around to find out or to hear what happens next, what should I do now, you'll be the person that others come to get inspiration and information about how we can thrive again. Don't you miss the days where what we did felt like magic? We felt like super doctors. We could solve problems that people were just struggling with how to solve on their own. And the skills that we have of prioritization, of focusing on value, of starting without perfection, but building quality into the process, all that wonderful stuff that we know how to do. You just pick it up and move it around the org. Now stay tuned, because I'll be talking about the specifics of where and how in organizations you can do this. But in the meantime, you might want to grab my free guide on how to find problems in the organization that people are dying to solve, and how you might be able to propose an agile approach to getting them solved. I'll show you how to tell customers what they need to hear in order to embrace agility and hopefully hire you or buy your services. The link to that guide will be down in the show notes below. Now, if you want my personal one-on-one coaching on how to do this, reach out to me at contact@badassagile.com, or this may be the best time in your career to consider joining the Forge. This is what we do. We build heroes of impact. We create that courage and confidence to turn into the changing landscape and to go forward boldly. My friends, I hope you like this one. Hope it inspires you. You can reach out at badassagile.com, and you can check out all my products at learning.fusechamber.com. Can't wait to see you in the next one, and until then, stay badass.